Every team has its core rangers, but what happens when another hero comes in to join in on the action?
This isn't the first time we've met, and it won't be the last. And to think, I'm not even warmed up yet.
Extra Rangers in the Disney era of Power Rangers. No, this is not all of them, just the ones previously covered on this channel. Strap in for a compilation featuring some insane introductions of new powers during a much praised era of the franchise. Got some work to do, looking for a good laugh?
Finally, he gives us some props.
Or just want to relax? Put this on, because we're covering the debut of Extra Rangers in the Disney era of Power Rangers.
Oh, how cool is that?
But Hedge, those are 6th Rangers, not Extra Rangers. Well, actually, only one of them in this video was introduced as the 6th Ranger, and all of them were either like 5 or 4. So, yeah, leave me alone. I don't care. They're Extra Rangers in this video. You'll be alright. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You should be a Sunday school teacher or an animal doctor, because as an evil spirit.
You should be a police officer, you should be a firefighter, you should be a bank officer.
He made it.
This was a long time coming. This comes at episode what, 15, 16? Cam lets out his frustration at feeling left out, his dad giving the Rangers so much attention, and him wanting to join in on the action.
Everything we're able to do is because of what you're able to do.
It's not enough. I want to be part of it.
You want to be a ranger.
And it's fully valid. Cam does so much as it is just at the desk with the Zords programming everything.
A promise you made when Cam was a little kid. That's why you won't let him become a ranger?
Does one of you have something you'd like to say?
What's crazy too is that each of the Rangers agree that while Sensei has a right to be protective of his son, he's way too protective in his endeavors. They even kind of sort of lash out at him a little bit.
Seems simple enough to me. Gotta trust your son, sir.
The show has made allusions to the fact that there's one more Ranger that hasn't been seen yet.
We could always trade him in for a new ranger. Maybe a green.
But I do wish we saw a little bit more of Cam pining to be a Ranger beforehand. It didn't really happen as much as I feel would have been the most satisfying.
Cam, run!
No way, I can help.
One of Lothor's monsters drains everyone's Ranger energy force, or their life, I guess. It's called Ranger energy force, but they basically act like they're dying.
I'm crashing!
Me too!
Okay, but this part took me out, dude.
A scarf? You sent us a scarf?
Just go with it.
When the Rangers are low on energy force and can't fight any longer, Sensei hints at there being a power strong enough to help, but refuses to allow it. And my boy Cam got them hops, boy. His daddy said absolutely not. Cam takes the scroll of time from the back of Ninja Ops, which ends up freezing time entirely.
Hey, Uncle, why did
This is the funniest series. It's now up to Cam to go back in time to retrieve that forbidden power and return before he becomes stuck in the past forever. Oh my god, are you kidding me, dude? What is this?
I'm beginning to question your commitment to your ninja training.
Yo, we got a black Sensei, and in the past, bro, let's go, dude. I sure hope he doesn't become a villain in the next series. Here in the past, Cam meets up with his father, named Kanoi, and a past Sensei, who see him as an intruder. Cam is given a test uniform to see where he belongs at the Ninja Academy. What's crazy is we find out that Cam's father and Lothor are twins, a cool nod to Sensei and Lothor being played by the same actor. Kanoi being an air ninja, and Lothor, then called Kia, was an earth ninja. Kanoi spars against a woman named Nico, the first female enrolled in the school's history.
Why, are you afraid of a girl? Maybe our traditions need to be changed.
Bro gets outed as misogynistic and starts beefing with Kia. Nico carries a family heirloom on her neck, something that Kia takes a particularly dark interest in.
Tell me about it. Let me see that amulet.
Nico, who is actually Cam's mother, relays to Cam that the destiny of the samurai is passed down among generations in her family.
My father says she would never approve of the life I've chosen.
I have a feeling if she could see you now, she might feel differently.
Thanks, Mom.
It's a super sweet and heartbreaking story and interaction anytime Cam is with one of his parents in the past, knowing what happens to them in the future.
Cam? Stop! That's mine!
This looks like a PS2 cutscene, and I don't know how to properly explain why. Cam is then framed by Kia as having stolen the green amulet. Kanoi exposes him after having witnessed Kia attempting to unlock it with dark magic.
Any use of the dark powers will bring immediate expulsion. This is the first rule of the Wind Ninja Academy.
This is when Kia starts crashing out, attacking everyone in the academy, including Nico. Kia locks himself in a force field with Cam, who wears the green amulet while fighting for his family and the academy for the first time.
You're a stubborn one. Runs in the family. Give me that amulet or you'll regret ever crossing my path. Like I already don't.
Everything about this arc is absolutely insane. Cam is holding his own, keeping his glasses on, and defending the people he loves with so much force, and it's incredible. During the fight, the amulet starts to glow and forces Kia away, to which we see Lothor emerging out for a quick second.
You will be cast adrift in a universe where your dark ninja powers may cause no harm. You are hereby stripped of your ninja rank, and the man known—
Zeltrax, no! Kia takes the name of Lothor and is banished from the academy.
Wait, how will I know? There's so much I want to ask you. So much I want to tell you.
Goodbye, Cam.
Nico entrusts Cam with the amulet, and he's given no choice but to return to the present as the scroll has run out. This is where we're given our first true introduction to just what Cam can do when given a chance.
Hello, Power Rangers. Looks like you could use a little help. Green Samurai Ranger, at your service.
Emerging from the Samurai Star Zord as the Green Samurai Ranger, Cam makes light work of Lothor's original monster, before revealing himself to the Rangers. Tori having the first inkling of an idea is my favorite part. Lothor flies in, taking matters into his own hands, attacking the Rangers while they're still low on their energy force. Now that everyone knows about the familial connection, we're starting to get more fierce interactions.
What's the matter, nephew? You don't like reunions?
Say nephew? You can't choose your family, Lothor. I certainly didn't choose you.
Everyone teleports back to Ninja Ops where they receive their energy force back.
She was so beautiful. Everything you said.
Do not forget wives, for she has chosen well in bringing forth the newest Power Ranger.
Cam reminisces on his mother in a very heartfelt scene as multiple of Lothor's monsters appear throughout the city, prompting the Rangers to each split up.
Samurai Storm, Ranger form. Ha! Green Samurai Power.
The first monster Cam is up against literally poisons him immediately, and it's so stupid. Now why you gotta do this? Like, bro, come on, dude. This is genuinely disgusting, and I can't stand that this is part of the official third part of the Samurai trilogy. I feel like, sincerely, this should have been called something else, to be honest, because his samurai journey is basically done, and to have the final part of this be this weird thing where he gets turned into a fly, damn near, as his first on-the-ground fight is so dumb.
I can't believe that in my first Ranger battle, I practically get turned into a bug.
Yeah, me either, man. They do this thing where it's like, well, he's struggling, so we'll have to learn how to get past these setbacks and try to justify this happening in the samurai's journey. But the moment he morphs again, those bug-like instincts are gone and they just don't exist anymore. So it's like, well, what was even the point? We do get to see the Super Samurai mode, though, which is sick.
Super Samurai mode. Samurai Saber, power up. How do you like that, Uncle?
I don't like it.
You don't truly realize just how much becoming a Ranger had an impact to him and the rest of the gang until the Rangers surprise him with his own ninja uniform.
Wow. Where did that? You gotta be part of the team. You gotta have the gear.
The Samurai's journey is what both Cam and Ninja Storm needed. Coming off the Thunder Rangers saga, both of them, this three-parter served a great purpose. The first episode had a good bit of filler and the third trailed off a little, but all three together I feel flowed fine enough. I just really enjoyed seeing Cam interacting with his family of the past, especially seeing his mother, knowing the different connections that each of these characters played to each other, and seeing how they evolved and turned into something different later on. It's the exact kind of personal struggle that I love to see in Power Rangers. It's just enough. The Green Samurai Ranger had an amazing introduction, and it's something I'm sure many look back on fondly today, and I know I do.
It takes a powerful man to choose his own destiny. Congratulations. No father could be prouder of his son.
Kira, something weird's happened. And I feel like if I don't tell someone...
It's only a matter of time before you turn completely evil.
We're both Rangers.
You're good, I'm evil. It's a pretty simple concept. You're the one losing it, and you're losing it to
go away. It's not safe to be around me.
Like I said no!
Join me.
You are here because you love Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and if you're not, I promise you this will be friendly enough for you to understand. White Thunder is the best trilogy in Power Rangers history. To me. To understand this trilogy, we need to understand Anton Mercer. Mercer is a man that once worked with Tommy Oliver on dinosaur DNA and conducted an experiment that accidentally resulted in him unwillingly morphing into a monster known as Mesogog. Mesogog took over with a plan of returning the Earth to the age of the dinosaurs and turning on Tommy.
Find him. Whatever it takes.
The island they worked on exploded, with Tommy being able to escape but believing Anton Mercer was killed in the blast. Years after Tommy escaped, Mercer turned up again, prompting Tommy to question where he could have been all that time and why he never reached back out.
Experiments we were working on. Some crazy things have been happening.
Look, I'll clear some time next week if that's all right with you. But it's good seeing you again, Tommy. Truly it is.
Mercer's fight against Mesogog is genuinely unsettling. Mesogog can take over whenever he pleases, with Mercer at his mercy during the painful transformation. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter when. When it happens, there's a power struggle, to which Mesogog wins 90% of the time.
Dad, are you all right?
Yes. I'm fine.
I also want to mention there's a point early on in which Mercer believes that Mesogog will end his life in some way, and speaks to his son acknowledging that at some point he may be gone.
If anything unforeseen should happen to me, I need to know that the family business will be in good hands. Can you understand that?
Yeah, Dad, I can.
It's a sad story that's written brilliantly. Trent Mercer is Anton Mercer's adopted son. We see Trent early on and are immediately clued in on his future importance.
It's kind of hard to have a musical career when you can't even get anyone to listen to you play.
Well, I was listening and I think you rock.
He appears regularly with the Rangers as a friend, and his interactions with his father are given a good amount of screen time. Mesogog's henchmen, Zeltrax and Elsa, locate a dino gem unknown to the Rangers and retrieve it per their master's orders. We know that any dino gem can be engineered into a morpher through the right technology to harness its full energy, meaning it's only safe to assume Mesogog is intending on doing the same thing. Fight fire with fire. However, we never explicitly hear what will be done with the morpher they create through it, and it's possible Mesogog could have utilized it himself to take on the Power Rangers personally.
So is this good news or bad news?
Guess that depends on who's got the gem.
Trent over time speculates more and more that strange things are happening around the house, eventually noticing his father enter an invisiportal, deciding to do the same not long after. Upon discovering the secret lab of his monstrous father, he comes across the dino gem that had been worked on by Zeltrax and Elsa. The gem forcefully attaches itself to him, becoming the Drago Morpher. We quickly find out that the Morpher in some way was manipulated into controlling its user in the most evil ways imaginable. Back in the city, the Rangers are called to tend to a situation involving a monster roaming around. Turns out this monster was not out to cause havoc, but instead looking for the Morpher that went missing. Mesogog's henchmen were in deep trouble. Not only had they lost track of the most important relic instrumental to Mesogog's reign, but now it was in the hands of an unknown being, creating an extra problem that they all now have to deal with. A white figure takes out the monster with ease, appearing to Connor, Kira, and Ethan as the White Ranger.
Who is it?
And how come he gets the fat helmet?
This results in one of the most brutal beatdowns in the series. Relentlessly, the Rangers are thrashed, with even Dr. O needing to step in before they went too far, as he himself is unsure of the ramifications of destroying the White Ranger. He's a massive threat, however, he's a Power Ranger, meaning that there's a human behind the mask, one whose identity is unknown. You can destroy him, but this by proxy pushes the risk of killing the user. The White Ranger takes them out one by one, leaving them battered before disappearing.
You've been warned, Power Rangers. Stay out of my way, or be destroyed.
Trent is in no control of his mind, movements, nor the morph into the White Ranger. The White Ranger can take over whenever it pleases, with Trent at its mercy during the painful transformation. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where, when it happens there's a power struggle, to which the White Ranger wins 90% of the time. What I love most about this is the fear. Connor, Kira, and Ethan seem actually distraught, unsure of their next move, as this is something they've never had to deal with. Now on top of the looming presence of Mesogog, who unbeknownst to them is just as frustrated as they are.
Somewhere out there is my future, the future of the two of you. And right now, none of them looks very bright.
Along the way, the White Ranger begins developing a dinosaur egg of his own, one that would eventually hatch into the Dragozord.
Well, what do you think? If you're gonna wear the suit, you gotta have the Zord, right?
Similar to their fight on foot, the Dragozord tears into the Rangers after having stolen the Stegozord, creating a new Megazord all of its own. Dr. O manages to break them away, causing the White Ranger to flee, leaving the heroes to once again regain their thoughts as to what exactly is going on, and further speculate as to who they're really up against. It's hard to put into words just how real this next scene is. Connor is at soccer practice when he notices Trent sitting on a bench, appearing somewhat incapacitated. Just watch.
No offense, dude, but you don't look fine. I'm just taking a rest. Maybe I should call your dad or something?
No, don't! Just leave me alone.
We don't know the extent of what the Morpher is doing to Trent's physical state outside of the visual aspect. Bags under his eyes, blurry vision, stumbling around and struggling to keep his composure, but only when the White Ranger is absent. It's kind of frightening. Connor follows Trent to check back up with him, and surprise, surprise, the White Ranger ambushes him from behind. During their battle, the White Ranger takes the upper hand, leading Connor to call for backup. Something takes hold inside Connor, prompting him to initiate Super Dino mode for the first time. There's something so satisfying about the ever-looming threat of a new Ranger. They're so overwhelming to the point that Connor's inner rage causes him to find and pull out any ounce of untapped strength just to figure out a new method of defeating them.
Whoa! Looks like I tapped into a whole new level of power!
This power doesn't last long as the White Ranger goes in for a finisher before being halted by Mesogog and Zeltrax. There's no scarier feeling than seeing the main villain outside and away from their main chamber. Like, there's no telling what's gonna go down.
Do not speak unless spoken to.
Here we see Mesogog attempting to break a deal to destroy the Rangers, ultimately being told that the White Ranger follows his own rules and fleeing. The trilogy ends with Dr. O in a warehouse to retrieve a fossil finder left by Connor and Kira, to be met with Trent stumbling around. In an attempt to get him to safety, he ends up locked into a battle with the White Ranger.
Never would have seen that coming.
Fight or perish, Black Ranger.
Now knowing his identity, Dr. O immediately rings up Haley, but before being able to spill the details, the White Ranger activates the fossil finder, imprisoning Tommy in amber.
Let's keep this our little secret.
The episode directly succeeding this trilogy is Truth and Consequences. While this episode of course isn't the end of the White Ranger's story, I consider it the true ending to the White Thunder section of Dino Thunder. Trent's lack of control leads him into yet another fight with the Dino Rangers, but this time ending in defeat, as they're each able to bring out Super Dino mode to take the upper hand. The White Ranger lets his guard down after Trent is able to recognize Kira during the battle.
Kira?
Later in the day, he confides in Kira who he really is, but stresses that he's entirely at the gem's mercy. Neither Connor nor Ethan are able to put up with his information, believing Trent is lying about his condition due to the severity of his havoc against the city. Elsa is able to locate Trent unmorphed and bring him to Mesogog's lair, where Mesogog recognizes him as Mercer's son for the first time. The episode ends with Trent refusing Kira's attempt to help, as he feels his grip on the White Ranger is weakening by the day. Considering himself a threat, we cap off with a shot of the White Ranger drawing he left floating in the water. What I love most about this is just how much is happening outside of the base story. Cassidy and Devin throughout have a storyline in which they're trying to capture footage of the White Ranger's true identity for a news story and predictably get tripped up time and time again.
I'm hit! Collateral damage!
They're my favorite duo, I'm so serious.
Tell me she didn't.
Ew, is she having a baby?
Yeah, my sister.
Mesogog's presence can be very unsettling, almost at times making you feel as though you need to leave the room.
Shall we bring him to you?
You have not been paying attention, Zeltrax. It will take an army of the likes of you to accomplish that.
His patience with Elsa and Zeltrax runs extremely thin as they continuously lose track of the White Ranger. Seeing his frustration grow stronger can actually get pretty tense. Connor and Ethan have a brotherly bond that develops through this three-parter, and they're often seen tending to each other's aid or hanging out together, and it's really nice to see.
Just so you know, good guys do not wear white.
Tommy lends his knowledge and even his unsureness on how to handle an evil ranger, knowing his past history of having been one himself. He knows it isn't easy, and seeing him having to deal with it from the opposite end this time is fascinating to watch.
It wasn't supposed to go this way, was it? An evil White Ranger? No. Of course it's been known to happen.
Kira and Trent have a subtle romance going on that influences Trent into telling her the truth before anyone else. It's heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time.
You? But you almost annihilated me.
But I didn't. Look, once I knew it was you...
Let go of me!
Everyone's situation is integral to each piece of the story, as any mistake could jeopardize everyone's operation. If Cassidy and Devin videotape Trent as the White Ranger, not only would Mesogog be after him early, but maybe even some sort of police force. This would also speed up the investigation into the identities of the Dino Rangers, not to mention the city possibly turning on each of the Power Rangers not sure who to trust. With Tommy out of the picture at the end, it's up to Connor, Kira, Ethan, and Haley to navigate Mesogog's forces alone, alongside knowing a person that they go to school with and see every single day not only knows that they are the Power Rangers, but that he himself can morph into the White Ranger at any point, unprompted. Trent is left in a battle exactly similar to that of his adopted father, stuck in a loop, losing control day after day, forced to fight, forced to lie, and forced to deal with it all with the notion of one day possibly being gone forever. White Thunder is ridiculously well written and carries a tone unlike anything that came before or after it in Dino Thunder. There's a reason the White Ranger is the favorite of many. His story is unmatched, a story reminiscent of Green with Evil from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but serving as an evolution from it. White Thunder is a trilogy like no other. It continues to flow perfectly if one were to watch it on its own, even without the rest of the series. Again, although this isn't the end of the White Ranger story and it continues throughout the entirety of the show, White Thunder sticks out tremendously. There's so much going on throughout that keeps you on your seat no matter what's going on and which part you're watching. At the time of this recording, it's currently the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and White Thunder serves the test of time. Who do you trust?
When this opens, there will only be one color left in the rainbow.
SPD Omega Ranger! And I traveled a long way, just for you.
We begin with Boom freaking out, as usual, bringing the squad a radio message picked up from 15 years into the future.
Cadets, I've told you before, this is not a place of play.
Not play. Big trouble.
The message states it being the 15th anniversary of Grum's takeover of Earth, which would have meant the exact day that SPD is standing listening to the message. If they're still sending out radio calls 15 years after a disaster, then they must be in immense trouble. That's a long time.
If anyone can hear this, please send help. Today, July 11th, is the 15th anniversary of the Trubian takeover of our planet Earth.
They basically say, help, we're all dying, we're all dead. The caller says they sent out Omega, who did not die. No one recognizes the name. After the call is verified, the Rangers are sent out to the city, except for Z.
Where is Miss Delgado?
After the broadcast, she kind of freaked out. I'll notify her.
Go, Rangers!
I think it's funny she just didn't go outside. She went like extremely deep into a forest because the Sentai footage told her to. She's stopped by Morgana, who plays a big hand in this takeover. This episode introduces two new villains, Shorty and his brother Devastation, who truly has one of the worst monster voices I have ever heard.
Nicely done.
Way to go, big brother! Yes! I will make quick work of these fools!
They're the galaxy's two most wanted criminals, apparently over Grum, or maybe Grum doesn't count. I don't know. A device is set up to send a signal to the outside, an indicator of incoming invaders. The Rangers put up a fight and lose, and the device gets set off.
Let them marinate in fear. Marinate? Let's go!
This episode is a lot of the Rangers just getting washed. Marinate?
It's buttery.
Buttery?
The Megazord gets thrashed, requiring extra maintenance. Megazord gets thrashed, requiring extra maintenance and repair of the Delta Runners, meaning they're unable to use them when Shorty goes gigantic later on.
Maybe the message was right. This is the end.
The Delta Command Megazord is sent out as gloriously as ever. Look, if you guys ever want a video on the music, just please let me know, because SPD has hands down one of the best soundtracks in the entire franchise. It all sounds so grand with what's going on.
Rangers, in position. Morphers, lock. Delta Command Megazord, ready.
Just a shame the music couldn't save them. In comes a blue and white Zord out of nowhere, and he sounds sick.
SPD, you're under arrest.
He looks sick too. Blue and white and gold will always be an amazing color combo when used properly. The Megazord makes light work of Shorty.
It's time to show them.
Shut up! As a Ranger exits the Megazord, B Squad follows behind and we're introduced to Omega.
First 5 Rangers, then 6, and now 7.
No! What? 7? That can't be right!
SPD Omega Ranger! And I've traveled a long way, just for you.
Omega is crazy. His fighting style is lightning quick, and his voice, dude. I feel his ADR is hit or miss at times, but I also feel I liked it so much growing up because he sounds like Sonic. Like he really does.
This isn't the first time we've met, and it won't be the last. And to think, I'm not even warmed up yet.
We soon see him morph into a ball of light and disappear. The same ball of light that's been following the Rangers around for episodes and episodes and like it's been around for a long time at this point.
SPD code dictates that a Ranger will not stand by when another Ranger is in trouble. That's why I came, to save you.
Omega's attitude poses a challenge. His state-of-the-art futuristic technology gives him the confidence to stand against the Rangers and even Commander Kruger, stating that it's his job to take out Morgana and Devastation, and that B Squad should step aside.
I said I'll handle it. On your order, sir.
Rangers? I say let him go.
I've always loved this about SPD. They've time and time again, even individually, had to prove themselves and or show that they're more than enough on their own. It's a test of strength and a trust in themselves, even when it's challenged by a fellow Power Ranger. Standing their ground when an attack is called in, they let him leave. This, on first glance, presents the notion of a lack of belief in his Rangers on Kruger's behalf, but in reality, it shows a massive level of trust in his B Squad. He trusts their judgment in letting them send Omega on his own to see what he can or can't handle without the possibility of allowing them to help. They know what they're capable of, and they're not going to let someone that they see as a newbie push them out, regardless of how new their equipment is. While Omega is able to wipe out the Crybots, he struggles against Devastation and his horrible voice.
You are finished.
This is when the SPD Rangers whip out a code that Omega quotes earlier on in the episode and flips it back onto him.
A ranger will not stand by when another ranger is in trouble.
But you can't beat this guy. Sorry, but a code is a code.
SPD has their own issues with devastation, standing nearly defeated themselves, but they manage to power through, which shows through to Omega. The B Squad is fueled with strength and perseverance regardless of any possible outcome. With this being evident, Omega initiates judgment with SPD's judgment. See what I did there? See? Oh gosh.
Marinate.
But is unable to stop devastation. This leads to SPD and Omega using their Zords together to take him out as a team.
Ah! Finally, he gives us some props.
The introduction of the Omega Ranger was so wholesome, his whole purpose being to let the Rangers show what they're made of and integrating a new stronger force into the team. Us even finding out that he is that one kid, Sam, from earlier in the series. This two-parter as it is was just really nice, one of my favorites. SPD had a lot of 2- and 3-parters, so that's saying something. Go back to it sometime. RJ. Look, it was about time I come across this, and yet it still took me by surprise. RJ, the mentor of Jungle Fury, has the heart of his father. Matter of fact, he and his father had a falling out. RJ's father is the Shark Master, who feels disappointment when his son doesn't follow his way of doing things.
What's it been? 6, 7 years since we last spoke?
All I ever wanted was to teach you the ways of your father, my father's father, and so on.
Can we drop it?
This creates a divide that's hard for RJ to talk about, and you can see it visually affecting him in a way we'd yet to see at this point in the series. There's a point in which Casey longs for a master other than RJ, as both Theo and Lily have both had one pop up on them unprompted.
You trust me, right?
Yeah, sure. You're my Parshwar master.
Then why do you want another?
Oh man, that's all we need.
When RJ realizes this, and then his father reappears after years of them having not spoken, it creates what he sees as a loss, losing the last one of his students to not only another master, but his own father.
I'm trying to visualize a positive future for me to live in.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Does that work?
Is my dad gone?
No.
And it's not working.
It's almost off-putting to see him somewhat venting his frustration to Lily and Theo, but off-putting in a good way. We're used to seeing him being the teacher as opposed to the other way around. It better humanizes him and it makes him feel more like he's really part of the team.
I'm still Casey's master.
RJ, your dad is the bomb. He started teaching me the shark sabers. Whoa, amazing.
After the Shark Master trains Casey, but they end up losing a fight anyways, Casey runs to RJ to tell him how it went, but the Master feels as though he let everyone down, the same feeling that his son is dealing with. I love the framing of RJ here, just throwing cards at a hat, hoping to make at least one. Like, he's coping. He's trying to find a way of saying that he won something, no matter how small.
You're not doing too well.
Depends how you look at it. What if the purpose was to avoid that?
Oh, then I'd say you're doing great.
Casey and RJ have a heart-to-heart, and RJ notices his father in the midst of a battle with Daishi. He flies in to save him, not allowing his own family to get rocked.
You mess with my dad, you mess with me.
He's strong, RJ.
So am I.
Bro, RJ made him dab so hard, it caused an explosion. This is one of the first real times we get to see his inner wolf spirit come out. This rekindling of the two is the start of something incredible.
You know, if it wasn't for you guys, I would never have known what a good son and what a fine master RJ's become.
It's from this point on that RJ's wolf spirit is brought out again and again in more ways than one. In the Ghost of a Chance two-parter in which the Rangers achieve Jungle Master mode, RJ surrenders himself to save the Rangers and finds himself in a battle with Daishi, who places something in him that frees the wolf spirit even more. Okay, backtracking a little bit, when RJ surrenders and he's with Daishi and his army, he kind of jokes around with them, kind of like when Sonic was kidnapped in Sonic Forces.
Hello, Wolfie.
Hey, let's
Listen, the hospitality's been great. I'm gonna recommend it to all my friends, but is there an express checkout?
Oh, hey, sounds like the party started. Want to let me go and join in? No? Of course not. You hate fun.
We see RJ suffering from the pain from time to time, until eventually it takes full control, essentially turning him into a werewolf.
Why'd he run off like that?
We, alongside RJ, who returns to Jungle Karma Pizza visually battered, are shown a news report of vandalism across the city and many people left injured. Suspecting this to have been his own doing, he decides to leave, to not worry the Rangers, and until he's able to regain control of his animal form. We hear him attempt to joke with Fran, who brushes it aside to hear the truth about what's really going on.
And I was even here when the whole kitchen caught fire, so...
But I invented the smoked and crispy combo.
Please, tell me what's going on.
The seriousness settles in so nicely here, and it forces RJ into a mode that greatly refreshes his character, while also allowing Fran to become more ingrained into the inner workings of what she's been hidden from.
Your animal form. Well, couldn't the Rangers help?
No, but they'd try, which means they wouldn't focus on Daishi.
On his trek out, he realizes that what terrorized the city was not him, but a new monster instead named Monkiwi. So it was really cool to me when I saw those blasts hit Monkiwi, and I was like, wait, but the Rangers don't have any projectiles. And I was like, oh, that's gotta be the Strike Rider. And then it was, and he just like CG slides down a pole. Casey, Lily, and Theo appear to help, but are no match as Monkiwi provokes RJ's animal spirit to take form, who then turns his sights on the Rangers. With the fear that he could get stuck as a werewolf, it's up to everyone to find a way of returning control to RJ before it's too late. It's very distressing seeing him in the pain he's in because it looks so real. Not to mention when Fran stands up to him before he literally runs in and attacks her. Fran is integral to the purification of his animal spirit. What a weird sentence I just said.
You wouldn't hurt a fly, and you won't hurt me.
I just love what she is and how they write her. It's very nice, just an outsider looking in and then being included. It's really refreshing. Like, I love it. I love Fran a lot. With his spirit restored, RJ unboxes something from the closet, that being his own morpher. Now knowing he's gained full control of what was held inside, he's able to utilize it to its true potential and steps in to help the Rangers against Monkiwi. Oh my lord.
Jungle Beast! Spirit unleashed! Jungle Fury! Wolf Ranger! Yes!
I don't need to explain how gratifying this was. After so long of watching, knowing that this would happen, it was only a matter of time. Jungle Fury would not be Jungle Fury without the story of RJ. He's been through a lot, and a lot has been clouded by his surfer dude, things are okay persona. Now with control of the wolf and knowing his history, it was about time he finally let loose, and we get to see it through a flurry of spin kicks and flying leaps. That was the funniest sweep I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Not bad for your first morph. Oh, you like that? Hey!
Alright, this right here, this got the biggest smile out of me. Anytime the Rangers let their personality show while morphed is a good time. You just know the suit actors were having a lot of fun. This, of course, is where we also get to see the Wolf Sword in action as well, and it's interesting that we get to see the Wolf Sword actually doing things as opposed to just forming as part of the Megazord primarily, even though it does that like immediately after anyways. This was a big moment. RJ's tenure as the Wolf Ranger has always been uniformly praised, and now I can truly see why. This character is Jungle Fury, from being there for his students to being there with his students. I truly believe this was so much more impactful following the episode in which his father came into the scene. We got to hear so much of what he's dealt with inside, prove himself, and stand out on his own. And with this, knowing his father would finally be proud despite him not being present, it's rewarding to both RJ and the viewer seeing him tap into the morphing grid. Forever a fan favorite, and now forever one of mine. Alicia, Andrew, Austin, Autistic Disney, Brandon, Chaco, Emilia, Graham, Helen, Ian, Luke, Kira Did Nothing Wrong, Junior the Hedgehog, Matthew, Prima Donna,